Trump's got beef with America's cattle. Tyson beef facility shutting down, over 3,000 without work. I'm going to get right into it, though. I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High, Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the word ignorantly called Jesus because the letter J in English did not exist 2,000 years ago. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me this truth through the Spirit. Single honors to the elect. Peace and bless to the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Trade challenges reshape beef markets. So pretty much what's happening, Tyson is going to be shutting down a beef facility here in America in January, and over 3,000 people are going to be out of work. And that brings me to this this verse, of course, where it says, "Behold," Ecclesiastes 12:4. Forgive me. "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low," meaning that when work is starting to decrease. "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Because when spirits are low, there's certain music and tones that you have for funerals, for weddings, things like that, festivities. But there's no, even the music today is not festive, because of the degeneracy. But that's besides the point. The point of the whole verse was that the doors being shut and the sound of grinding ceasing. Okay, so getting right into it, I want to get right to the point. I'm not going to keep this long. It says the value of U.S. beef exports continue to rise. While not at record highs, exports are going steadily. It says a significant contributor to this value is variety meats such as beef, tongue, tripe, and liver. Although these cuts are not widely consumed in the U.S., they are highly sought in international markets. Okay, so America does send out some beef parts, but they're pretty much the parts of the animal that people in America really don't eat, but a lot of international people eat. So it says, while the U.S. exports these less demanded cuts, it imports lean grind from countries such as Brazil, Argentina, and Australia to meet domestic demand for ground beef. Breeden said ground beef is the most consumed form of beef in the U.S. So the majority of the beef we're consuming comes from other countries. Let that sink in. Okay. It says these prices was rewarding higher quality. Breeding said the size of the cattle was going up too. You move the cattle price down, is going to send these cattle to market a lot quicker. We're getting to here we go. This is what's going to really hurt the market over here. It says the guys raising 1,000 to 5,000 head are going to hurt the most with Tyson closing, said Steve Hansen, U.S. Meat Export Federation chair and rancher, referring to the announced January 20 closure of the Tyson beef processing plant in Lexington, Nebraska. Where do these producers go now? Tyson was taking all their cattle. They had a dependable buyer, and now that's gone. You're going to see a lot of change. So imagine that for years, for decades, right? You've been pretty much selling your 1,000 to 5,000 head count of cattle to this facility. Now they're shutting this facility down. Who else going to be buying your cattle? That's what's happening. Well, that's what's going to be happening in America. And like I said, Trump and his administration, they're importing beef anyway from other countries. And now this reminds me of what I'm saying is going to be a famine here in the land. But before I get that, let me read this. Exodus 9:3. Behold, the hand of the Lord is become thy cattle. I thought about this precept. Is upon thy cattle which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. I'm going to look that word up. But yeah, but the Lord is pretty much doing all of this. Remember, the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. And understanding the situation that's happening now, we have lab-grown meat, genetically modified foods, right? We have all this fake food being made and processed and sold. And you can see that America, they're shutting down all of these meat processor facilities. If you're shutting down all these meat processor facilities, where is this meat coming from? Right? How are you actually packaging this meat? You know what I'm saying? So it makes you want to think, what are we really eating? I saw a video last night where this woman had left 3 gallons of ice cream in her back seat. She woke up the next morning to go get it. It wasn't even liquid. It wasn't even creamy. It was still solid like that, but it got really, really soft. It's like it's still whole, but it's really, really soft. It was just some off the wall. Like, what is they eating? What are these people consuming? You know what I'm saying? But it was some off brand, some blues junk, some Sunny Blue. I don't know if it said that. Let me not, I want a defamation clause, but it was some off brand. It wasn't a brand that we all know, like Eddie's or something like that, or Haagen-Dazs. But yeah, man, I don't know what the people are eating or what they're feeding us. When you look 20 plus years out, one of the challenges we may face is genetics. Listen here, we have the best genetics in the world right now, talking about the cattle, but we're teaching other countries. Look at the Australian beef industry and the influx of Angus and Wagyu production crosses. Some of these countries are improving the quality of their beef, and that would be a challenge. So America's teaching these other countries how to have genetically better cattle and beef, yet America is still importing beef from these countries. This is wild. Yeah, these people are not fit to rule. But I'm going to close out. I'm not going to make this very long. This is 2nd Esdras, forgive me. 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 21 through 22. Behold, victuals, pretty much mean your everyday necessities, shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall teach themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Here comes the point though. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. All right, famine, y'all. Famine means that you're malnourished. You need food, you need nutrients, you need water. All right. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that shall escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right, and this is just like a precursor of what to come. Once again, where are we going to get all the beef from and all that? I mean, majority of the lean grind beef that America eat, which is majority of the beef they eat here, comes from Argentina. So we just got to wait and see what's going to happen. So with that being said, I truly pray y'all with edifying faith. Stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing. Stay humble, remain diligent. YAHAWASHI Allah, Shalom.